The street are buzzing, back at it again tonight. Emergency live stream reaction, the bombshell that's broken the NBA world. Man, this one has shaken things up. Welcome in, late night live stream reaction. Shams, first on the money reporting. The Mavericks trading Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers, fresh after our game with the New York Knicks tonight, trading Anthony Davis, headed back to the Mavericks in a blockbuster deal, came out of left field. Let's talk about it. Let's break this thing down, right? Because this thing, man, biggest trade that I've seen come out of left field. Obviously, people's initial reaction was it fake? Was Shams hacked? Then Shams had to tweet again to say no, he wasn't hacked. Obviously, finding out the particulars. But Tim McMahon covering the Mavericks as well, and Mark Stein covering the the Mavericks as well with the Dallas market. Salute, Will. Yeah, no one's untradeable. I tweeted that out as soon as I first found this out, but I think we've just found out now that really, LeBron James is still running the NBA. Obviously, Anthony Davis, the Mavericks had interest in. But yeah, it's come out of basically concerns. Tim McMahon saying, firstly, the deal is Doncic, Kleber, Markieff Morris to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 29 first-round pick. So the Mavericks are just trading Luka Doncic, and they're only getting one first-round pick back, which is unbelievable. Yes, they're getting an All-NBA player in Anthony Davis, but obviously we don't know how many years he has left, right? So that is insane. The three-team deal does include the Utah Jazz as well. And listen, the Mavericks, obviously, long story short, is they were faced with a decision to make, right, to give Luka Doncic the Supermax, which is $300 and something million, right? Now, the Mavs have concerns, reporting Tim McMahon, moving forward with Luka due to his constant conditioning issues and the looming commitment of another Supermax coming up. And Luka did not request a trade, right? This was the Dallas Mavericks acting on their own accord, getting back Anthony Davis, right? And only a first-round pick. And obviously Max Christie, right? For what is regarded as a future MVP, right? Absolutely insane. I'm going to give my reaction in a minute in terms of my two-way feeling towards that big move. But obviously, yeah, the major financial implications is that Luka was set for a $345 million contract. Basically, the Mavericks feel like championship, can be built around defense, right? Nico Harrison, the Dallas Mavericks GM, feels like we can't win a chip without defense. And obviously the concerns over Luka's injury history, conditioning, and all of that, combined with the fact that you're about to invest in $320 million in him. Now, he won't be Supermax eligible now that he's getting traded. But obviously Luka doesn't have a say in this matter. So it'll be interesting to find out. Obviously Luka will get to team up with LeBron, with Clutch, and obviously the LA market. He can be the face of that franchise, but just truly unbelievable, right? Look, the Dallas Mavericks can still compete this year with Anthony Davis if Kyrie is healthy. But obviously, in my opinion, this is a very short-sighted move. Right? Even if you don't want to commit that to Luka, you've got to get back more than one first-round pick. Right? That's my initial reaction. Luka alone should be able to get you, in the conversation for Giannis Antetokounmpo. What do you think about that, Will? Everyone joining in and listening right now, you hold on to Luka and you figure out a bigger trade. This feels like very spur of the moment and rushed, right? Is more details going to come out that we don't know about, right? Maybe some, lack of harmony in the locker room. Was that really what we're just hearing? Was that there was concerns over the financial commitment, the conditioning? Obviously, we know Luka's been out with a calf for a while. You know, their short-term window was short-term. I never believed that Dallas's window was long-term because Kyrie Irving is getting up there in age as well. And then you obviously got to figure out, okay, who are we going to pair up next to LUKA? But you go in this all-in window now with AD from the Mavericks perspective, and then obviously, you know, when that ends, maybe you can just enter a full rebuild sooner and maybe get more picks back. But for the Lakers, like George K says, wow, obviously to get Luka Doncic for an aging Anthony Davis is phenomenal for the now, but phenomenal for the Lakers' future as well. 25 years old, right? I can't believe that Nico Harrison has basically pulled this move off right now. I can obviously understand why the Lakers have done it, right? It's a no-brainer. And Shams is reporting that the Mavericks approached the Lakers recently and offered up LUKA. Imagine that. You get the call, right? You're the GM of the Lakers. Oh, what would you give us for LUKA? I still can't believe this right now. And now he's going to be set to be the face of the franchise, right? LeBron James might be able to preserve his career now. Maybe LeBron signs up for 2 more years at a discount, right? Clutch Sports, Bronny James. These guys are running the NBA right now with LeBron. We just finished our post-game live stream. Obviously, LeBron's still got plenty of game left if you can surround him with some good pieces. But yeah, I always felt like the clock was ticking with the Lakers. You know, guys, there was a lot more reports come out recently that LeBron and AD have been pushing the front office to win now, obviously from both sides. But there's talk that Anthony Davis wouldn't be against this move either, because obviously he gets to go to a destination where he feel like he can win more now with the Mavericks. But what's interesting is obviously he leaves LA, who just beat the Knicks tonight. But I feel like the Lakers' ceiling was capped, you know? The world is in shock right now. I mean, we're reacting live stream to this. LUKA did not request a trade, right? But obviously there's been some thought, right? This never happens without, you know, some thought behind the scenes from the Mavericks. And I think LUKA's injury history with his antics with the referees and just the ability to, you know, doubts that they had maybe to get it done, right? Obviously making the NBA Finals last season. David Aldridge, friend of the show, says, we've been covering the NBA for 37 years. Almost nothing that happens, deals, free agent signing, coach firing, rises to the level of, as a great Ben Bradley used to call them, holy-ish stories. You just get used to the unexpected. Chris Haynes is now reporting that Anthony Davis is waiving his trade kicker. Sources tell Chris Haynes. Friend of the show, B-Ball Breakdown, Coach Nick says trading LUKA and getting merely 1 first-round pick back is crazy. Remember how somehow Rudy Gobert was worth 4 of them? Remember Mikal Bridges was used 5 first-round picks, right? There's some conspiracies also going around, guys, that I feel like the Mavs know something we don't know about LUKA. That could be something, right? Mike Bassick, who covers the Mavs, says, I can't believe this. I thought it was a joke. Hoop Central and Tim McMenamin is reporting that LeBron James found out about the trade after the Lakers game tonight at dinner with his family. Do you guys believe that? Will says, I think LUKA might be a Laker for a long time. Buzzer beater, yes. What the F? George K says, we use 6 picks for Bridges. What does that tell you? I think Anthony Davis was a big piece that the Mavericks really, really wanted. This obviously wasn't about the picks. They obviously feel like they can still compete and contend with Anthony Davis. You know, Nico Harrison is talking about, we really feel like we're lacking defense and Anthony Davis is going to bring that. John Schmelk, friend of the show, saying, I guess Dallas doesn't think that they can win with Kyrie and LUKA. Okay, I buy that. But to trade LUKA 25 for Davis, who's 31 and has played more than 56 games only once in the past 4 years? Do they really think they're winning a title with AD and Kyrie? Yeah, there's something they're not letting us know about, fam. I think this was a meeting of the minds all come together between Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. Fam, that's what I'm believing right now. Where there's smoke, there's fire, fam. And obviously, Luka didn't request the trade, but maybe through circles, Nico Harrison and the GM of Dallas just like, we're not going to give you the 300 million. Luka's probably all right. Trade me now. Trade me now. I'm not going to give me the 300 million. Let's do it now. Anthony Davis and a first rounder. I mean, look, AD's 31. He can still play at a high level for 3-4 more seasons, I would say. Kyrie Irving, first round pick. But really, that's their biggest trade chip, guys. You're literally just giving up Luka Doncic in his prime, 25 years old, and you've only got one pick back. Right. You can obviously play with AD for a few years, but you're not going to be able to flip AD for multiple picks either. Right. So you've just killed basically your biggest trade chip. George K says, next stop for the Lakers, Jonas. You already know, fam. You're ahead of the curb. I like that. You're ahead of the curb. Will says, I think Luka will be a Laker for a long time. Yeah, they're going to pay him. And like I said, LeBron can stick around, maybe take a discount. But man, this is the most shocking thing I've read. The Mavericks are indeed, without warning, trading Luka. See, that's what I don't buy. That's what I don't believe. These organizations and GMs, they know more than we do through agents, through the player, through friends of the player circles, all of that. You don't just trade your literal franchise, Luka Doncic, without warning, right? I don't buy that. That's like the New York Knicks just turning around and trading, Jalen Brunson right now, to a lesser extent, right? As much as I love Jalen Brunson, but that's like the Knicks basically just trading him without warning, right? I know there's new ownership in Dallas. Obviously, Mark Cuban sold his majority stake. Maybe that could be it, right? This wouldn't be a Mark Cuban type move. He's a lot more loyal to that. And Buzzer's asking, could we have gotten Luka? Nah, I doubt it, fam. The Mavericks specifically wanted Anthony Davis, but obviously Luka wouldn't have re-signed. I think he wanted LA, the Clutch Sports, future. He wanted his own future franchise. The Lakers, the glitz, the glamour of that. I think Luka, had let people know that he would like to play with the Lakers. He would like to play with LeBron. I do think, LeBron knew about this. Obviously, the interest in those two playing together. I mean, the players talk, fam. Tay says, I don't know. I always think for 6 picks instead of Bridges, we could have gotten a 1A player. I think picks definitely, but I think you still got to attach a big player to get Luka, because the Mavs don't want to tank, The Mavs, a big part of this was to get Anthony Davis back, and we might all think that Anthony Davis doesn't have as much value, but clearly he still does. I mean, he's still playing at an all-NBA level. He's just often injured. He's good friends with Kyrie. They did play together on Team USA as well. So I do think Kyrie and AD very much like to play with each other. You get back Max Christie, you get back a first round pick. Remember, I was telling you guys when I did my trade deadline show just a few days ago, the Dallas Mavericks had been letting people know that they needed a big man, right? They weren't prepared to go through this season without solidifying their big man depth, Derek Lively's been out, he's going to be out for months. Maxi Kleber been traded. Dwight Powell ain't going to get it done. And Daniel Gafford as well. So yeah, they really, really, really needed a big man, and Nico Harrison, the GM, really wanted defense. really wanted to solidify their defense. But still, it's asinine to think I'm talking about right now that they traded Luka Doncic. Right. Luka's a guy that could get you Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? And I don't think that's a hot take. If the Dallas Mavericks had called Milwaukee and said, "We're giving you Luka Doncic, we want Giannis," I think Milwaukee do it. But obviously, there's no assurances that Luka's going to re-sign there as well. But it would get you in the conversation, right? But man, look, I've been talking to Mavs fans, and they've been delusional. You know, a lot of Mavs fans were basically, you know, really protective of, you know, oh, Luka's here forever. And I said, hey, don't get so comfortable, man. Luka doesn't play any defense. He's not the most well-conditioned player. He's an offensive-minded player who needs like great defensive talent around him, right? He's basically a better Julius Randle, really, when you think about it. Obviously, a lot better offensively, but you still needed defensive pieces around him. And that was the conundrum. And then, yeah, obviously new ownership, having to pay him $300 million. I mean, insane. Will says, reminds me of when we traded Porzingis 6 years ago, believe it or not. But this is much bigger, of course, yeah. This is the biggest trade I've seen, especially with, you know, real time, no heads up, nothing. Stephen Bondy of the Knicks Beat says, been covering the NBA for almost 15 years and have never been as shocked by a trade as Luka to the Lakers right now. Yep. This goes down as the biggest trade deadline, and it hasn't even started yet. Tim Bontemps is saying this very well be the most shocking trade in the history of the NBA. Yeah, certainly AD's not even in his prime yet. Yep, agree with you, Buzzer, on that. What a present for LeBron James. I mean, listen, he won a championship together with Anthony Davis. Let's put that in perspective as well, guys. I think this is a lot easier for AD, LeBron, and everyone to stomach because they won a championship together. You know, they ride or die. They're brothers for life. Anthony Davis, the Lakers, LeBron, they won that chip in the bubble. So I think there'll be no ill feelings, but obviously I think AD would prefer this move. You know, he's been putting pressure on the Lakers to compete right now. You know, he's in his prime and obviously all of that. But Chris Mannix is saying Doncic can be a free agent in 2026. Was there any communication about not signing an extension? Right, see? I think there was heads up. Yep. Wilson Chandler, once a Nick, always a Nick, says, damn, I thought Luka was going to be a Mavs for life, like Dirk. I didn't see this coming at all. I think it's obviously a huge shock, but you know, GMs, players, they always know more than what we know about. Remember those stories where, you know, we find out years later that Kobe Bryant was almost a Knick. You find out that Michael Jordan was almost a New York Knick. You know, you find out that, you know, Steph Curry was probably almost traded. You know, a lot of these things that, you know, stay in the woods until later. And then we find out a lot later about it. So, yeah, you know, definitely teams have called the Mavericks front office in years past and tried to get Luka, but obviously we never find out about it. The Lakers probably, the Mavs probably listen for a second and then hang up. But that didn't stop teams from calling them, obviously. I do believe that the Bucks probably did dangle Giannis before Giannis did sign his future. You know, we did hear about that as well, that, you know, Giannis putting pressure on the Bucks organization. I mean, look, it's a players-driven league now, guys. You know, these players can dictate their futures. They can go wherever they want, you know. And obviously we know firsthand that JB, Jalen Brunson, kind of, you know, wanted to be in this situation. Once the Mavericks didn't give him the extension as well. But hey, on that note, how foolish does this make the Dallas Mavericks look right now? if they had just invested a measly 58 million into lock up Jalen Brunson, right? They could have traded LUKA, had Jalen Brunson, Kyrie next to him, and Anthony Davis, but obviously it worked out to our benefit right now. We'll continue to bring you some live updates, but yeah, to only get one first round pick is insane, right? Yosi Goslin, covering the NBA salary cap, says the Mavs should remain a good team, but for how long? The concern here is their outgoing draft picks. They got the 27 pick to the Hornets. They got a 28 swap going to the Thunder. They got a 29 pick that's going to the Nets. And then they've got a 30 swap to the Spurs. Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis are about to turn 32 and 33, respectively. Yep. So we've got some doctors weigh in on the OG Anunoby thing that I'm just reading. It says best case scenario, it's a mild foot sprain. Worst case scenario, it's a Lisfranc's injury, which is what we don't want. Obviously, though, the x-rays came back negative, so we can dispel that. He's going to have an MRI, though, as well. So, look, prayers up for OG Anunoby. But yeah, I think this lets us know that no player is untradeable right now, fam. I never would have expected that the Mavs would trade LUKA. At the very least, you thought it would have been a long, drawn-out process, this and that, you know, at loggerheads towards an extension. Okay, we're going to trade you. But to come out of the blue, like, come on. I mean, Jimmy Butler still can't get traded right now. Who would have thought Luka Doncic got dealt before Jimmy did? So yeah, we will find out the full extent of the OG injury, but the x-rays have come back negative, according to Ian Begley. Right. Okay, let's bring up the quotes from the Dallas Mavericks general manager, Nico Harrison. See, his rationale is, I believe that defense wins championships. Nico Harrison told ESPN regarding his motivation to trade LUKA. I believe that getting an all-defensive center and an all-NBA player in AD, a defensive mindset, gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you buying that, guys? Mavs GM says we are built now for the future. Man, I can't wait to watch some Mavericks podcasts. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, this came out of left field. They wouldn't have seen it coming. Nobody saw this coming right now. It's just truly a remarkable day, evening, morning in the NBA world. Early morning on the East Coast right now. But just one of the most stunning trades in sports history right now. I'm just amazed at how little the Mavs got. I can't sleep, and I think the Mavs are done for the next 5 years, says Mike Baksick. We've got former current players, Giannis weighing in, Joel Embiid tweeting out their shock as well. Unbelievable. We didn't hear a single whisper about this, so yep. LeBron James and the agency, right? We have CAA and we steered Jalen Brunson to the Mecca. Well, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, LeBron, the GM, I think he's orchestrated this as well, right? I don't think LeBron would have just found out about this. Come on, man. Surely the ownership would have asked him about trading AD. Will says the Mavs just went to the finals too. Young MVP candidate who just took an imperfect team to the finals. Yeah, Will, I do think a part has to play with they feel like this season's compromised. I do think the Mavericks were in real trouble this season. We're set to take a step back. I mean, they're in the 9th spot right now, barely holding on above to the Kings. You know, Lively out for months. LUKA with a calf injury. I think just things are growing tired there with LUKA as well. You know, the constant bitching to the referees, lack of conditioning issues that way. And yeah, maybe they just really respect and really believe in Kyrie Irving, and they wanted to get Kyrie, a guy who can be defensive around him, and maybe some more shots to go around these other guys. You got Jaden Hardy there. You've got younger guys, Quentin Grimes. They're going to play a more of a team-oriented style of basketball. I mean, LUKA is a bucket getter, elite, but I do think his game is more suited to like LA, where they can just build around him, as the face of the franchise for another 10 years. But for sure, the Mavericks should have got more back, right? This is just insane. Like if we found out it was Anthony Davis and 3 or 4 firsts, I'd be like, and Austin Reeves, and I mean, how did they do this deal without including Austin Reeves? Like, surely if you're the Mavs, you've got to say, look, Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves at least. I just don't get the value, man. Rudy Gobert was had for 5 firsts. Mikal Bridges was had for 5 firsts as well. Right. But yeah, as I bring this up, the Mavericks had concerns with Luka's conditioning and his willingness to sign a supermax. Yep. I think they knew they were up against it because, yeah, once he was going to become a free agent, if they aren't winning, yeah, he's going to be able to have his options and all of that. So, yeah, players are, basically deciding where they want to go. Giannis Antetokounmpo basically forced the Bucks to make that trade for Damian Lillard. I don't think. Remember, as soon as they traded for Damian Lillard, Giannis signed ASAP. On the dotted line. If they didn't do that, Giannis would have forced his way out. Now you see Jimmy Butler upset. He's not getting his extension. He's turned ugly, and he's forcing his way out. So maybe, yeah, the Mavs didn't want a repeat of that situation, but man, it still seems too hasty. If you're going to pull that Band-Aid, you better get a king's ransom and some. Like, this ain't even the Godfather package, right? And if you'd surveyed 1 million GMs and fans around the world, everyone would have agreed that LUKA Doncic would have gotten the Godfather package. Like, whether you like him as a player or whether, you're not that high on him or not, like, that's the kind of player that should get a Godfather package. And I don't think Anthony Davis, 1 first, Max Christie, and is a Godfather package, man. Far from it, man. Mavs fans are going to be so mad, says Will. Buzzer says Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Brunson, and now LUKA. Mark Cuban can't hold on to his point guards. Yeah, formally, but Cuban's not part of the ownership right now in terms of majority ownership. Can we go out and get Gafford, David? Yeah, definitely Jericho Sims could be on his way to the Lake Show. Damn. Hey, based on what you saw tonight, would you trade Jericho Sims to them for a guy like Max Christie? Maybe we can get on this deal as a 3-way. Max Christie comes to us. We send the Lakers Jericho, but yeah, they're probably going to go get Jonas Valanciunas now. Although, can they go get Jonas Valanciunas? They're going to have to trade some more salaries. Yeah, Utah's involved in it, Buzzer, but yeah, on a very minor level. So basically, Jalen Hood Schifino is a part of the deal as well, which is a very, very small side of the deal to make the pick work. Yep. Yeah, it all stems from the financial situation. LUKA's in line to receive a 5-year, $345 million contract, right? Don't forget, this is a guy who's set for life with the Jordan brand. So I don't think he would have been tied to the Mavericks for any amount of money, man. I think the Lakers could have promised him the franchise, and You know, the Jordan brand, good for his image as well. I mean, once again, man, the rich get richer, and it's a get out of jail card for the Lakers, man. LeBron is about to set on his career, and they bring in Luka Doncic, but hey, it's going to be a turnstile on defense right now. No AD. Look, tonight the Knicks didn't have it, but it's not like Jackson Hayes really, hurt us, or Dorian Finney-Smith. And if we had Mitchell Robinson available tonight, he would have beasted. And so, yeah, they do need big man help, and I do think they're probably going to get Jonas Valanciunas. But my God, what a shock, man! Unbelievable trade from both sides, right? Will says, I can only think of maybe 4 other players I'd think of as much or more untouchable than Luka. Ant-Man, Wemby, Jokic. Very, very, very few. Yeah, SGA. Yeah, you said it. I think you could count on one hand those 5 guys: Luka, Ant-Man, Wemby, Jokic. And obviously LeBron. Any team that has LeBron is not trading LeBron. And SGA as well. I think the Rockets are probably going to move Amen Thompson in that. I mean, that's another crazy thing. Wouldn't you trade Luka to the Rockets? Right. You could have got Jalen Green, Amen Thompson. You could have got them to throw in Tari Eason and Jabari Smith. You could have had yourself a whole mini Rockets rebuild together with Kyrie. But I think Luka wanted this. I think Luka gave the wink wink, said, hey, I would sign an extension with you guys if you can get me on this team, right? And I think, yeah, I think Luka's a guy that shows frustration. I think Luka was frustrated with the Mavericks as well, not putting more pieces around him. I also heard that Casey Smith leaving, who came to the New York Knicks, the health sports doctor. I think the Dallas Mavericks looked at that as a big, big loss, and they are suffering a lot of injuries right now, including Luka. So yeah, I think the Dallas Mavericks just pivoted. They were maybe backed into a corner, but this just seems so hasty right now. Incredible. Mark Spears is reporting word is new Mavs forward Anthony Davis is good with going to Dallas and has a solid relationship with team pres Nico Harrison dating back to the Nike days. Now Davis also has centers to play next to him in Dallas. See? There you go, fam. The Mavericks traded them in the same draft, Luka and LeBron. Man, unbelievable. Luka and Brunson. I mean, that's some generational talent that the Mavericks have given up without a championship since Dirk. Man, imagine lucking into Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic, fam, in the same draft. Yeah, Laker Nation. Laker Nation's going to be buzzing, man. Can you imagine you just beat the Knicks on the road, late night West Coast, and then this bomb drops that you've got Luka Doncic, right? That's unbelievable, right? Everyone's hitting up the emergency pods. It's great to have you with us reacting to this. Smash that like button. So Shams is reporting this deal materializing in the shadows. LeBron James had no idea this was coming. Anthony Davis had no idea this was coming. I'm told Luka Doncic is still stunned about this trade. All right. Maybe I'm starting to believe it a lot more. But yeah, LeBron gets to play with another Hall of Famer, Luka. Yeah, I call bluff. Unbelievable, eh? There's some people speculating that LeBron James to the Warriors has major legs. Right. Steph Curry and LeBron together. What do you guys think? Now that the Lakers have their future piece, they don't have AD that they have to please anymore. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Steph and LeBron should team up, fam? Hey, I won't be shocked. Right. We're getting some more breaking news come through the channels, fam. AP, welcome in, man. You're not dreaming. People are hearing that LeBron James to the Warriors has major legs because obviously the Lakers now, they're not under any handcuffs. They're not handcuffed by LeBron and AD's future, ultimatums. They've got LUKA now. They can build around him. AD's in Dallas to compete. LeBron wants to play with Steph, I think. Who knows if that ends up happening. David, absolutely. This isn't the best deal that the Mavs could get. Something isn't right. I think it's just relationships. Nico Harrison really likes AD. And Nico Harrison, thinks that, defensively they can do something. Look, make no mistake, Anthony Davis is still a demon right now. Maybe for 1, 2, 3 more years at least. I think he's still an incredibly, impactful two-way force. You put him with Kyrie Irving and some extra depth. Dallas can still be a top 4 seed, but it's a very, very short-sighted move. Yep, glad you found us again, fam. Will says, I don't see LeBron to the Warriors at all. I think it's misdirection. Yeah, I think it would be wise for LeBron to at least see out 1 more year. But yeah, I do think, his future, he could, maybe decide to do a few more different things before he retires. Maybe he's, sails off into the sunset after this year, after playing with LeBronny James. Bronny James, fulfilling that legacy right now. But yeah, I think LeBron still wants to continue to play. Yeah, Danny Ainge is getting a couple of seconds out of this as well. Right, so that is incredible to think that Danny Ainge, Jalen Hood-Schifino is just getting in on this deal to help it unfold, fam. So they did obviously have to call Danny Ainge and said, do you want to be part of this deal? You're basically just going to get a couple of seconds, and all we need is Jalen Hood-Schifino. Right, and his expendable salary, right? Dirk Nowitzki has tweeted out blush face right now. I mean, now there's some talk along the Dallas Maverick circles that this could be a play to move the Mavs to Vegas. The Dallas Mavericks moving to Vegas could be becoming real. Mike Bassick says, or is it a ploy by ownership to dry up the Dallas fan base and move the team to Vegas? I mean, look, yeah, Mavs Nation's going to be down bad. G Money, great to see you. Yeah, this trade has sent shockwaves. So the deal is Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a 29 first-round pick, and Schifino headed to Dallas, and the Lakers will get Maxi Kleber, and they'll get Luka Doncic. Leon Rose will be active, best believe that. There will at least be one trade coming from the Knicks, no doubt about it. Hopefully it's more than just a Jericho Sims trade. But yeah, basically Luka and LeBron, AD didn't see this coming. Look, the Dallas Mavericks front office, they did mishandle the Jalen Brunson extension, is what Ian Begley's saying. Nate Jones says Nico's front office has been excellent his entire tenure. They've made logical moves over and over. Mavs must have felt that Luka's conditioning issues and body was eventually going to fail him, and paying him 5 years, 345 mil wasn't good enough. Wasn't good value. That doesn't mean you can't trade him for more. I mean, people are going to buy high on LUKA right now. You don't sell low. De'Aaron Fox is reacting shocked as well. He's probably going to get traded soon to the Spurs. How quickly we forgot about the Jimmy Butler situation, says Monica McNutt. I mean, listen, this is going to shake up the Knicks locker room as well in a way. Because don't think any NBA player is sitting here right now, man, looking at their phone like you and I right now. And they're going to be thinking, all right, what's next for me? Man, maybe my agent's going to call me any second. Yeah, maybe I'm part of this deal. And listen, low key, there was low key people that, putting out troll tweets with like 20 team trades and all of that. AP says the Mavs leaving Dallas for Vegas. I do not like Adam Silver at all. This commissioner is going to destroy the league. Listen, it's about ownership as well, Look, there will be a team in Vegas, What is the NBA in bed with right now? Betting organizations, fam. It's only fitting that they lie in it and that they move, or get a franchise in Vegas, right? That's the sports gambling capital of the world right now. Look, the Mavericks have never been a huge franchise to begin with, in my opinion. Like, there were a lot of years where they were really, really, really bad. Don't forget, before Dirk came along, they were losing a lot of ball games. LUKA, I mean, they lucked out with that. I mean, they were lucky that the Mavs decided to trade LUKA for Trae Young, fam. They got lucky. They missed out on Jalen Brunson as well. But yeah, that's all I got for you, man. We'll be back tomorrow, actually, as more of these news soundbite surface. But I'll leave you with this. Basically, this talk that LUKA has reached up to 270 pounds, and the Lakers were growing, and the Mavericks were growing concerned, per ESPN. Right, so listen, it's not like they didn't get anything nice back. Anthony Davis, a first-round pick, Max Christie, but still, man, they sold super low on LUKA right now. But yeah, obviously there's going to be a lot more to this as we'll find out the details. But yeah, this has been our live instant reaction, late night. Get some sleep, everyone. Stay blessed. And yeah, we've got a big trade deadline coming up for the New York Knicks and for the rest of the NBA. Stay tuned for the next show. Like and subscribe to the channel. But what is up next for LeBron James right now in his future? He's got to be as shell-shocked as everybody else, like I said. But what helps the situation is that he won a championship with Anthony Davis. So I don't think there's going to be any loss of face or relationship between those guys. It's just simply a business right now. But yeah, it's all about business, fam. We are fans of the sport and the teams, but these owners are owning these teams as just a business. Mark Cuban was one of very few owners that was basically willing to just run the team as a fan. And be loyal to certain players, take a loss, ride or die with the team. But a lot of these owners, they just sit in the shadows, They don't care about the team's ultimate success to a degree. It's all about filling their pockets, first and foremost, and trying to be a viable business venture, right? The Boston Celtics, don't forget, are about to turn over to the new ownership as well. Maybe that ownership doesn't want to pay Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday. There's talk that ownership is going to blow things up soon as well. So James Dolan's checks will go a long way to stepping in, I think, if and when the Boston Celtics can blow things up. But Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be right there. They're going to be right there to go all in on it, fam. But salute to you all. Good night. Peace.